man is behind bars following an overdose death at a motel. Investigators said that Terrell Quante, laybearer of Malden, South Carolina, provided the drugs. On the 8th of October 2023, police were notified of an overdose-related death at the Stagecoach Motel at 612 East Main Street in Spindale, North Carolina. When officers arrived at the room, they found 2 victims. One was unconscious and another was deceased. The unconscious victim was treated with Narcan and transported to Rutherford Hospital, where the victim was hospitalised for an extended period of time before his recovery. Authorities said that surveillance video, interviews and other information secured via search warrant helped to identify Terrell's involvement in distributing the lethal narcotics to the victims. On Monday, the 8th of January 2024, detectives found Terrell's vehicle at the Town and Country Inn Suites at 188 Reservation Drive in Spindale and determined what room he was in and took him into custody. Terrell's charged with second-degree murder and is held at the Rutherford County Detention Centre without bond. 20-year-old Alicia Owens is behind bars and is accused of killing her boyfriend's 18-month-old daughter by forcing her to ingest harmful objects. And just after 4 p.m. on the 25th of June 2023, emergency responders went to the home of couple Bailey Jacoby and Alicia Owens at 420 Electric Street in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, after receiving a 911 call that a toddler had fallen ill there. When they arrived, they found Bailey's toddler daughter Iris Alfera breathing, but she had a fixed glaze and a weak response. Medics transported her to UPMC Jamison Hospital, and the city police were summoned there by hospital personnel. Bailey told police that their child was in his and Alicia's custody that weekend, and the call was made to 911 when he was at the grocery store. He told investigators that Alicia called him and said that Iris was lethargic and that something appeared to be wrong. He told the police that he left the groceries at the cash register and went home. Alicia told police that she was feeding Iris on the bed that afternoon when her arms and legs cramped up. Iris then immediately fell sideways off the bed and onto the floor, and Alicia said she saw Iris's chest collapse. She said she was a nurse in training and tried to perform chest compressions. She called Bailey and he told her to call 911. Hospital physicians reported to police they suspected Iris's injuries were the result of child abuse. Alicia and Bailey told police that Iris had vomited a few times, but otherwise seemed normal, and she was functioning, sitting, eating and playing that day before Bailey left for the store. Iris was initially treated at the UPMC Jamison Hospital and then flown in a critical condition to UPMC Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, where she suffered a brain bleed and hemorrhages of both retinas and was placed on life support, but later died on the 29th of June 2023. An autopsy completed the following day revealed Iris died from an acetone poisoning, causing organ failure, which officials determined she had ingested shortly before her death. Acetone is a chemical commonly found in nail polish and paint removers. The medical examiner ruled Iris's death a homicide. Months before Iris died, she was hospitalised after swallowing different objects, including more than 20 water beads, 3 button-shaped batteries and a metal screw. Authorities said that around February 2023 until June of 2023, Alicia had conducted web searches on her cell phone related to the actions that ultimately led to the child's death. She researched household items that could kill or harm a child, including water beads, batteries and nail polish. Alicia searched for phrases such as beauty products that are poisonous to kids, medication leading to accidental poisoning deaths in children, what happens if a baby swallows a battery, if your child drinks a lot of nail polish remover what happens, can sunscreen poison a 1-year-old baby, how many kids have died from eating water beads and many more. Following Iris's death, Alicia's search history included some deleted ones, such as how to pass a polygraph test, which was searched multiple times, and how to control your reaction to irrelevant questions, and have no reaction to relevant questions on the polygraph test. On Thursday the 11th of January 2024, Alicia was charged with criminal homicide, attempted homicide, aggravated assault of a child, endangering the welfare of a child, and other offences related to the abuse and death of Iris. Alicia is held at the Lawrence County Jail with bail denied. Iris's father was taken into custody and questioned, but was released after police confirmed he had no knowledge of the abuse. The investigation into the matter continues. 31-year-old Alyssa Roman is behind bars for fatally shooting her boyfriend 33-year-old Alan Kritzer and then fleeing the scene almost naked. At around 5:10 p.m. on Friday the 29th of December, authorities responded to a possible home invasion call at 7438 North 55th Plaza in Omaha, Nebraska. When police arrived, they found Alyssa Roman rushing out the back door of her residence only wearing a shirt. Officers caught up with her and took her into custody. She was exhibiting signs of excited delirium, so she was taken to a local hospital. Officers entered the residence and found Alyssa's boyfriend, Alan Kritzer, deceased in the bedroom with gunshot wounds to the neck and upper torso, causing his head to be almost off the body. Officers then located a shotgun in a separate bedroom upstairs with women's pants and underwear placed over the tip of the gun that had blood on it. Witnesses told police that Alyssa had forced her way into the home only wearing a shirt. Once Alyssa was cleared from hospital, she told investigators that Alan did not shoot himself, and that she and Alan were the only two in the home when he was killed. She was subsequently booked into the Douglas County Jail on charges of second-degree murder and use of a weapon to commit a felony. She remains held without bond. The investigation into the matter continues. 69-year-old Richard Shaw, a pastor and church youth group leader from Riverton, Wyoming, is accused of molesting a young girl in Polk County, Florida. Authorities say that Richard travelled to Lakeland, Florida in December of 2023 over the Christmas holiday and spent 9 days there. When he returned to Wyoming, the Polk County victim disclosed to her mother that Richard had inappropriately touched her underneath and over the top of her clothing while he was there. The mother called and spoke to Richard, who admitted to touching the child who was younger than 12 years old. Richard is a worship leader at Under Command Ministries in Riverston, Wyoming, and works in the youth ministry area as well. Polk County Sheriff's Office detectives notified the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, who conducted their own investigation to determine if Richard had victimized any children there with whom he is in contact. Detectives learnt that Richard works at or is affiliated with other churches in the area, and further investigation by Wyoming authorities is ongoing. Detectives interviewed Richard, who told them he has an addiction to pornography, and that when he touched the Lakeland victim, he gave in to temptation. When asked during the course of the investigation, "Should we trust you with a child?" he said, "No, I wouldn't." On Thursday, the 4th of January 2024, Richard was arrested in Riverton, Wyoming, and booked into the Fremont County Jail and charged with 2 counts of lewd molestation on a child under 12 years of age, and will be extradited to Polk County at a later date. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd said, "We're working with Wyoming law enforcement to determine if this suspect victimized any other children there. We sincerely hope not. This man should never be allowed to have access to children again," he said. Authorities have not disclosed how Richard knew the victim and her mother. The investigation into the matter continues. Police are investigating after a 21-year-old woman was fatally shot. At around 1:45 a.m. on Wednesday the 10th of January, authorities responded to a home along the 800 block of Greencrest Turn in Birmingham, Alabama on reports of a person shot. When officers arrived, they found an unresponsive woman laying in the driveway of a home with gunshot wounds. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The victim was identified as 21-year-old Mia Nixon. Authorities said that a preliminary investigation suggests an unknown suspect shot Mia outside her home and left the scene. There were 2 other people inside the residence when the shooting occurred. However, no one else was injured. No arrests have been made to date, and the motive of the killing is unclear, as the investigation into the matter continues.